Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Quentin here, and welcome to tutorial number 13. And in this video, I am going to talk to you guys about the different comparison operators in PHP. So comparison operators are these operators that you will very often see in an if statement that compare two values. Okay, now you guys already saw the greater than operator from the previous tutorial, which checked if apples, or the value of apples, was greater than 1. Okay, and because obviously apples was 5, so 5 was greater than 1, this code ran and we got this stuff printed out in the browser. Okay, so because there's a greater than sign, we also have the ability to check if apples is less than 1 by using the less than operator. Okay, so now we're checking, is apples less than 1? Well, right now apples is 5, so that is obviously going to be false because 5 is not less than 1, and when we go back and click refresh, we've got nothing. But let's say apples was set to 0. 0 is indeed less than 1. So we might as well just change that to say you have less than 1 apple. Okay. And now when we save this and click refresh, it says you have less than 1 apple, you have 0 apples. Okay. So not only can we check for greater than, but we can also check for less than. But what happens if I actually had 1 apple? Okay, so apples is equal to 1. Then the computer is going to run this test and go, well, if apples, which is 1, is greater than or less than 1, we'll do this code. But 1 is not less than 1. Okay, they're actually equal to each other. So what do you guys think is going to happen here? Because this is actually false. 1 is not less than 1. Okay, so the answer to that is that we're not going to get anything printed out because this condition is false. So if you want to be able to include 1 as part of the scope, you actually have to use the less than or equal to operator. Okay, and basically what PHP is going to do now is check, well, if apples, which is 1, is less than or equal to 1, then we'll go ahead and do this code. And right now, apples is 1, so is 1 less than 1? No, it's not, but it is equal to 1. So this statement is now true again, and this code will indeed execute. Okay, so when we go back to Firefox now, click refresh, we've got everything showing up. Okay, likewise, and I'm guessing this is fairly straightforward to you guys now, because if we've got a less than or equal to operator, we've also got a greater than or equal to operator. So this will check, is 1 greater than or equal to 1? Well, it's not greater than 1, but it is equal to 1, so this statement again would be true. But now let's actually talk about if we're checking if the values are equal to each other. Okay, so let's say well, we've got apples equal to 1 here, and we want to check if apples is equal to 1. So we don't want to include if it's greater than or less than, we just want to check if they're equal to each other. Now remember that the single equal sign already has a purpose in PHP. We already use it as the assignment operator to assign the value on the right to the variable on the left. So instead of using a single equal sign when comparing if two values are equal, we actually use a double equal sign. So that's how we check for equality in PHP. So right now, is 1 equal to 1? Well, yes it is. So let's actually just get rid of this and just say you have one apple. Okay, let's go back to Firefox now and click refresh. And yes, we have one apple, okay, because 1 is equal to 1, okay? But what happens if this was 5? Well, is 5 equal to 1? No, it's not. So again, this condition is false, and these lines of code will be skipped, okay? So if we go back and click refresh, well, yeah, we got nothing, okay? And that's because 5 is not equal to 1, okay? But we also have the ability to check not equal to. So not only can we check if apples is equal to 1, we can check if apples is not equal to 1, okay? So in other words, is 5 not equal to 1? Well, yes, 5 is not equal to 1 because 5 is more than 1, okay? So again, well, let's just change this message up to say, okay, we can say apples, our variable apples, is not equal to 1. Okay, so this will only happen if our variable is not equal to 1. This code will only execute if this is not equal to 1. So let's go back, click refresh, and 5 is of course not equal to 1. But again, what if we have 1 in this situation? Well, 1 is indeed equal to 1, so that would be false, and this would not execute again. Okay, so if we go ahead and click refresh, well, you can see 1 is of course equal to 1, so this statement actually is false. Okay, and the tutorial is getting kind of long from now, but let's go ahead, and I also just want to show you one last thing, and that is the identical operator. Okay, so let's make another variable called oranges, and we can set that equal to 1. Okay, and now we can check if apples and oranges are indeed identical. So what I can do is just put my variable here, oranges, and like I said, I want to check for if they're identical, and that is actually 3 equal signs. Okay, so right now apples and oranges are both set to 1 as an integer. Okay, so they are actually identical. So when I go back and well, let's just change this message up to say apples is identical to oranges, I need to spell that right. There we go. Okay, cool. Save that. And when I click refresh, 1 is identical to 1. Okay, and that's because they're both integers. Now let's say I turned 1 into a string. Okay, so they're still both equal to 1. Okay, it's just that this is now a string 1 and this is an integer 1. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch my tutorial on data types. But as you can see, when we go back now after saving this, we're going to get a little bit of a confusing message, or not a message at all. Okay, and that is actually because the string 1 is not actually equal to, or not identical to, the integer 1. Okay, but they are actually equal to each other. So if I tested if apples is equal to oranges like that, okay, then this will actually still run. Okay, even though they are different data types, they still hold the same value. So let's go back and click refresh, and 1 is equal to 1. But because they're different data types, they aren't actually identical. So that is what the triple equal sign means, that it's strictly equal. They have to be identical. So they have to be the same value and the same data type. So if I go back and click refresh, I get nothing. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys in this video. It was kind of a long one, but thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Please feel free to leave a comment, like, or share the video. It's really going to help my channel grow, and I'll see you guys next time.